Scorpio, can you feel it? Something powerful is shifting around you. Something invisible yet undeniable. You've sensed the tension, the pressure, the strange magnetic pull toward a new reality. And here's the truth you've been guided to. Here, a door is opening. A door that leads to financial freedom, peace, and divine provision. But this door won't open if your fists are clenched. What if I told you? The very thing you're afraid to release is what's blocking your blessing. Welcome to the Mystic AstroZen, your sacred space for intuitive guidance, spiritual awakening, and cosmic truth. Here we don't just read the stars, we translate their messages into powerful transformations for your life. And today we're unlocking the one shift that could change your entire relationship with money. Scorpio, you've always known the value of power. It's etched into your soul like an ancestral imprint, the need to hold, to understand, to prepare for the storm before it arrives. Control for you has never been about domination. It's been about protection. You control not because you don't trust others, but because somewhere along your journey, you learned not to trust the unfolding. Somewhere in your past, maybe in childhood, maybe in a heartbreak, maybe in a moment of betrayal, you made a silent vow. I won't let this happen to me again. And so you took the reins. You planned every step. You studied every risk. You tried to predict every outcome, especially when it came to your money. But the truth is, Scorpio, the very thing you used to protect yourself is now becoming the cage that keeps your blessings out. Control is like a locked vault, impenetrable, safe, and yet empty. The universe cannot pour abundance into hands that are clenched. It cannot send a miracle into a heart already full of expectations. Financial energy is fluid. It responds to vibration, not calculation. When you obsess over the how, the when, the what if, you narrow your channel. You trap your energy in fear. And fear repels wealth faster than anything else. You may think you're being wise, strategic, or even responsible, but what you're actually doing is postponing your breakthrough. Sometimes we say we're being realistic when really, we're just being afraid. Scorpio, this is your sacred message. The universe is not punishing you, it's simply waiting for you to loosen your grip. It's waiting for you to trust the process more than your plan. It's waiting for you to realize that surrender is not a lack of power. It's the highest form of it. When you let go of the need to control, you send out a signal that says, I believe, I am ready, I am open. And in that very moment, doors begin to shift. Paths clear. Money moves. Magic happens. So ask yourself with love and honesty, is your control creating stability, or is it secretly blocking the flow you've been praying for? Because often the moment you stop trying to force abundance is the moment it finally finds you. Scorpio, when the universe begins to move on your behalf, it rarely shouts. Instead, it whispers. Through signs, nudges, synchronicities, and subtle shifts in your inner world. And if you've been paying attention lately, you've likely noticed those stirrings. Perhaps you've been waking at unusual hours with your heart racing, or catching repeating numbers like 555, 888, or 444 everywhere you go, on receipts, clocks, addresses, license plates. These are not coincidences, they're cosmic confirmations. 888 speaks of financial abundance aligning in your field. 555 signals a major life change ahead. And 444 is the foundation, a divine reminder that you're supported and safe, even when everything feels uncertain. Maybe you've had dreams of unlocking doors, flowing water, elevators rising, or even flying. All symbols that your soul is being prepared to rise, to receive, to step into something bigger than you imagined. Or maybe it's more practical. At a random call from someone offering you an unexpected job, a feeling that you're being pulled to learn a new skill, invest in something different, or relocate. These signs don't always come with logic, but they always carry truth. You feel it in your gut. That sensation of, this matters even if I don't know why yet. Scorpio, your intuitive radar is powerful. Trust it. The financial door that's opening for you isn't always announced with fanfare. It's hinted through alignment. Things that once felt stuck are now shifting. Conversations around money that you used to fear suddenly feel possible. You feel a desire to clear clutter, reset your priorities, and move toward simplicity. All clues that space is being made for something new. You may even notice a strange inner calm despite external uncertainty. That too is a sign. It's your soul recognizing what your mind can't see yet, that something good is on the horizon. But here's the truth. Recognizing signs is not enough. You must respond to them. When you're guided to rest, rest. When you're nudged to reach out, reach. When you feel called to surrender, even though your logic resists, surrender anyway. The universe speaks fluently in flow, not in force. And if you've felt a quiet voice say, it's time to trust over and over again, this is your confirmation. The financial door is not just near, it's already unlocking. The only question is, will you walk through, or will you wait for it to look like something you can control? Scorpio, there is a hidden cost to control, and it's not always visible in your bank account, but it echoes through your spirit. The more you try to micromanage the outcome, the more you disconnect from divine timing. Control creates tension. It clutches the body, clouds the mind, and tightens the heart. It says, I must do this alone, even when your soul is whispering, let me help, and this inner conflict slowly eats away at your energy. You feel fatigued, restless, stuck in loops of overthinking. You work harder, but see little movement. You push more, but feel less peace. You may have convinced yourself that this is just how life is, that wealth must come through sacrifice and struggle. But that's not truth, Scorpio. That's trauma. You are not here to suffer in order to prove your worth. You are not here to carry the weight of every outcome on your back. And yet, this is the weight you've been silently bearing. You've tried to control money by worrying about it. You've tried to earn security by exhausting yourself. But worry is not a strategy, and burnout is not a badge of honor. Spiritually, the cost of control is misalignment. When your energy is rooted in fear, you attract from fear. You manifest from scarcity, not sovereignty. Opportunities shrink, support withdraws, and you start to believe the illusion that you're cursed or forgotten, when in reality, you're just trying to control what was never meant to be forced. There is no room for miracles when your mind has already scripted every detail. The universe is infinite, but control is small. So ask yourself, how much magic have you missed because you were too focused on your plan to notice a better one? Scorpio, it's time to lay the burden down. Not because you're weak, but because you're ready for something greater than your logic can design. Control may have protected you once, but now it's only delaying your joy. What if the thing you're afraid to surrender is the very thing standing between you and the financial freedom you crave? What if letting go is not the risk, but the remedy? You weren't born to live clenched. You were born to rise, to flow, to expand. And to do that, you must finally release the illusion that you're safer when you're in control. Because the truth is, you're safest when you trust the divine flow. Scorpio, knowing that control blocks your blessings is only the beginning. The real transformation begins the moment you choose to let go. But surrender isn't something you decide once and never wrestle with again. It's a practice, a return, a conscious unraveling of habits built over years of survival. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop caring or trying. It means you stop forcing, stop obsessing, and begin allowing. It means you create space for the universe to surprise you. But how, Scorpio? How do you let go when everything in your body wants to hold on? Start small. Start with presence. Each time your thoughts spiral into, how will this work out? Gently breathe and say, I don't need to know, I just need to trust. Repeat it like a mantra. Let it rewire your nervous system. When fear rises, when the need to control grips your chest, pause. Put your hand over your heart and whisper, I am safe to release. It's in these micro moments that you begin to reclaim your power. You can also practice physical release through ritual. Write down every fear, every need to control, every belief that's keeping you stuck. Then burn the paper under the moonlight. As the smoke rises, so does the energy of surrender. Say aloud, I let go of what no longer serves me. I allow blessings I cannot yet see. Another powerful tool. Visualize. Picture your hands tightly clenched, holding the rope of control. See yourself slowly loosening your grip. Imagine light entering your palms. Imagine abundance flowing in, not because you chased it, but because you made room for it. Use affirmations to anchor this shift. I trust the divine process. I am open to unexpected blessings. It is safe to receive without control. Scorpio, your turning point comes when you stop needing guarantees and start moving with faith. It comes when you value peace over perfection and presence over performance. The irony is, the more you let go, the more you align with the frequency of abundance. Because true wealth isn't built from tension, it flows from trust. And when your energy shifts from gripping to grounding, everything around you shifts too. So ask yourself in this moment, what am I trying to control that's already trying to bless me? Then take a breath, loosen your grip, and begin again. Not from force, not from fear, but from freedom. Scorpio, the moment you release control is the moment life begins to surprise you, in the best possible ways. When you stop clinging to the old way of surviving, you step into a new reality where money flows more easily, more gracefully, and with far less resistance. This is not about winning the lottery or manifesting quick riches, though even that is possible. It's about finally shifting out of scarcity and into alignment. When you surrender, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop clinging to the path you thought would save you, and instead, you allow the path meant for you to unfold. Opportunities you once had to fight for will start to find you. People will come forward with offers, support, and ideas, not because you begged, but because your energy now welcomes abundance instead of resisting it. The struggle dissolves, the exhaustion fades, the pressure to prove yourself disappears, and in its place, a quiet, sacred confidence. A knowing. You begin to trust that you are provided for. You wake up not in fear of bills or the unknown, but in anticipation of what might go right. Clients appear, emails arrive, resources show up. And when they do, you'll realize it wasn't the strategy that changed, it was you. You became available. You made room. You no longer blocked the flow with fear, with doubt, with obsession. You no longer needed control as your crutch. Instead, you chose partnership with the universe. You co-created. You allowed. You received. Scorpio, your future is not written in your plans, it's written in your energy. And when your energy says, I trust, abundance echoes. Here I come. This next chapter of your life holds so much more ease than the last, not because life suddenly got easier, but because you stopped fighting it. When you surrender, you find peace even before the money arrives. And ironically, that peace is what draws the money in faster. Your magnetism grows, your decisions become clear. You say yes to what serves you and no to what doesn't, without guilt, without fear. This is wealth consciousness. This is freedom. This is the reward of letting go. So as you breathe into this moment, know this. Your surrender is not the end of your power, it's the birth of it. What awaits you is not emptiness but fullness, not loss but overflow, not lack but liberation. Scorpio, the financial door is already open. All that's left is for you to walk through it. Scorpio, if control is the surface symptom, then fear is the root. And this is where your shadow lives. Not the kind of fear that screams loudly, but the quiet, persistent kind that whispers, "What if I'm not safe?" Or, "What if I lose everything again?" You may not even realize it, but beneath your determination to control your finances lies an older wound, a place in your past where something was taken, where trust was broken, or where lack left a scar so deep it still shapes your choices today. Shadow work is the sacred practice of facing those buried fears with compassion instead of judgment. It's about becoming curious, not critical. Ask yourself gently, when did I first feel unsafe with money? Who taught me that receiving abundance requires suffering? What part of me still believes I must hustle endlessly to deserve peace? These questions aren't meant to break you. They're here to reveal the shackles you didn't know you were wearing. Scorpio, you are a master of transformation. But to transform, you must first acknowledge what's been hiding in the dark. Perhaps your fear is not about losing money, but about losing control. Maybe it's not about lack, but about vulnerability. Maybe somewhere deep down you believe that if you receive too easily, it will be taken away just as fast. This is the trauma talking, not your truth. And now is the time to rewrite that story. Your past may have taught you survival, but your soul is ready to learn how to thrive. You don't need to fear the shadow. It holds no power once it's seen. Bring it into the light, speak it, feel it, and then release it. Write down your money wounds. Burn them. Cry through them. Bless them. Say, I honor where I've been, but I no longer let it define where I'm going. You are not broken. You are becoming. And this process of meeting your inner fears with grace is the very alchemy that turns pain into power. Scorpio, when you face your shadow, you become lighter. When you clear the root, the branches of your life bloom freely. And when you finally stop avoiding what hurts, you begin to heal what's been holding you back. This is the sacred groundwork of your financial freedom. Not just earning more, but feeling safe to receive more. And that kind of wealth? It starts deep in the soul. Scorpio, if there is one sign in the zodiac born for transformation, it is you. While others fear the fire of change, you were designed to walk through it and rise stronger. You don't just survive darkness. You become the light within it. This is your gift. This is your power. And now it's time to use that power not to control, but to transmute. You've faced the shadow. You've felt the fear. Now you turn it into flow. This is the moment you shift from survival mode into soulful magnetism. When you release fear, you make space for grace. When you stop grasping, you start receiving. Scorpio, your energy is alchemical. It transforms pain into wisdom, wounds into medicine, endings into new beginnings. But only when you surrender to the process. You are not meant to be rigid. You are water, powerful, deep, unstoppable. You don't need to force outcomes. You only need to become the vessel through which abundance can pour. And you do that by trusting. Let go of the need to predict. Let go of the need to prove. Let go of the fear that if you don't control everything, it will all fall apart. That's not your truth. That's your trauma talking. The real you knows that miracles happen in moments of openness, not resistance. You've already been through the fire. You've already carried more than most. And now the universe is asking, will you let it be easy? Will you allow wealth to flow to you without struggle? Will you honor your worth by no longer making yourself earn love, safety, and success through pain? You don't need to be tested anymore to be worthy. You already are. You've passed the hardest parts. Now you get to receive. This is your Scorpio magic. The ability to take fear and turn it into fuel. To take endings and turn them into openings. To take your own silence and turn it into sacred power. The moment you decide to stop resisting life, life will rush in to meet you. Money will flow. Opportunities will align. And you'll realize, I never had to force a thing. I only had to remember who I am. Scorpio, your gift is not in control, it's in transformation. And now, it's time to rise. Not from pressure, not from panic, but from peace. Let your new flow begin. Scorpio, for much of your life you've been taught to fight, to hustle, push, conquer, and endure. And you've done it well. You've carried more than most, achieved more than many, and survived storms that would have broken anyone else. But now the universe is inviting you into a higher way of living, not through struggle but through alignment. This is the great shift, from force to flow, from resistance to resonance. You no longer need to wrestle with life to prove your strength. You only need to align with what truly matches your soul. Alignment means trusting how your body feels in the presence of a decision. It means listening when your spirit says, "This isn't for me." Even if your ego disagrees, it means recognizing that ease is not laziness, it's wisdom. When something flows, when it brings clarity, peace, and possibility, that is a divine yes. When something drains you, triggers fear, or demands self-abandonment, that is a sacred no. You were not designed to live in constant tension. You were designed to respond to energy, not to chase validation. Scorpio, alignment is your compass now. You don't need to work harder to receive more. You need to work wiser, from a place of wholeness. When your energy is aligned, opportunities find you. You stop knocking on closed doors and start walking through the ones that open effortlessly. You stop settling for survival and step into sovereignty. This is the season of choosing what feels right over what merely looks right. Because when you chase what isn't meant for you, you exhaust yourself. But when you walk in alignment, life responds with synchronicity, speed, and abundance. So ask yourself now, what am I still forcing that no longer fits? What am I ignoring just to keep a sense of control? Your power isn't in pushing, it's in listening. When you act from alignment, you don't need to prove your worth. Your very presence becomes magnetic. You begin to draw in opportunities, people, and resources that match the vibration of your truth. And this is not fantasy. This is frequency. You're not giving up by surrendering. You're upgrading. You're no longer playing small for the sake of certainty. You're walking into a life that honors your soul, not just your fears. Scorpio, this is your invitation to stop fighting. Let the right things find you. Let the flow guide you. Let your power be quiet, clear, and calm. Because alignment isn't loud, but it's unstoppable. Scorpio, you've done the work. You've peeled back the layers, faced the fears, and loosened your grip on the old patterns that kept you stuck. And now something new is beginning. This is not just a minor shift. This is a financial rebirth, a sacred turning point, a new chapter in your story that is no longer written by fear but by flow. For the first time in a long time, money is no longer tied to pain. It's no longer a battlefield. It becomes what it was always meant, to be a tool, a resource, a reflection of energy aligned with purpose. And you, Scorpio, are no longer chasing security. You are embodying it. This new financial era is marked by clarity. You no longer say yes out of desperation. You say yes from discernment. You invest in yourself, not from fear of missing out. but from deep knowing that you are worth every seed you plant. Opportunities appear that feel like home. Resources arrive without begging. You receive without guilt. This isn't just about the outer world changing. It's about you becoming someone who naturally attracts what's rightfully yours. People will wonder, what shifted? They'll say you're lucky. But you'll know the truth. You became available. You stopped chasing what wasn't meant for you. You stopped trying to control the flow, and the moment you let go, everything began to move. Expect sudden clarity in your path. Expect divine timing that feels too perfect to be random. Expect the kind of blessings that feel tailored to your soul. This is the reward of all your inner work. Not just abundance, but peace. Not just income, but impact. Not just money, but meaning. Scorpio. The financial door is not just open, it's wide. And what's on the other side is not just wealth, but freedom. Freedom to live on your terms. Freedom to say no without fear. Freedom to rest, to create, to dream again. This is the beginning of your soul's true prosperity. Not the kind that comes and goes, but the kind that grows with you. Because now, you no longer build from pressure. You build from peace. You are no longer ruled by scarcity. You are led by sacred trust. And that trust will take you further than any plan ever could. This is your time. This is your shift. This is your rise. If this message stirred something in your soul, Scorpio, don't let it fade. Let it anchor you into a new reality where abundance flows not from force, but from faith. If you're ready to stop surviving and start receiving, type, I release, and receive in the comments below. And if this resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone else you know might be standing in front of their own door, just waiting to hear this truth. Like this video, share it with a fellow Scorpio, and make sure to subscribe to the Mystic AstroZen for weekly readings, cosmic insights, and the soul-aligned clarity your journey deserves. Your transformation is just beginning, and your next breakthrough might be one click away.